You went to swing a long time, you went the same away. You went to swing whenever need, and then don't went away. But I can find the main way, went to send the main way, and up and send and went away, up and leave my way. I went to swing, I can wait, the way sent me away. I went away, swing away, and I can be my way. I went to swing, taken away, I went to swing, taken away, so I can take the bullets away, and up and leave away. I'm a traveling man, I'm traveling man, I'm traveling man, I'm traveling man. You wait to sing forever came, and after that away. And I will sing forever way, and I've been dreaming away. But I can stand and be the same, and I can bring them away. You wait the way, so up and stand away. I'm traveling man, I'm traveling man, I'm traveling man, I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. Well, now let's sing. Traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. I'm traveling man. Traveling man. You went to swing a long time, you went the same away. You went to swing whenever need, and then don't went away. But I can find the main way, went to send the main way, and up and send and went away, up and leave my way.
Hi guys, welcome to another finally rehearsed and prepared for live stream from the Acoustic Shop here.
Hinkley stole my SD card.
Hinkley stole Jason's SD card and now I'm here SD cardless.
I'm your live studio audience.
Hinkley is our live studio audience. Trent is here. Welcome to a surprise or unscheduled live to talk about some new things that are coming. It's NAMM week, ladies and gentlemen, and Jason is actually here for a live. Jay, this has been a long time since you've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
Look at Jason. Always gets a relaxed job. He just sits there
I'm
in
sitting
his
in my chair. I'm in my office today.
with your tripod, and your little mount, and
I have a cold
camera. Do you have
today.
a cold? I
Yeah.
hope you share that with me. I hope that.
I've been trying.
That's wonderful. Anyway,
time I sneeze,
love to
I
hear
go to
what
your
you
office.
guys want to talk about today. I'm here to mainly talk about Martin guitars and some of the stuff that got released today that is going to be officially shown and showcased, but I've got some of them to showcase for you today. That's what these are. And then clearly, I've even got some stuff that I can't show you yet.
You want to welcome everybody?
Yeah, I said that. Welcome, everybody. If you're watching, let us
Compelling for
know where
Christ
you're
is
watching
here, John.
from, what you guys want to talk about.
Vince
Jason,
is here.
who's watching today?
Jamie's here.
Jamie Sloan?
John York. No.
Oh, Jamie
Bulldogger.
Kidwell.
John York's here. Teresa Craft's here. She's excited.
Good. Me too.
Angela Williams is here from Wilmington, North Carolina. Jennifer Motes is here, John.
Hey, Jennifer. I talked to her this morning.
She's not first, but she's not last.
I
So,
talked to her
hold
this
on.
morning. Guess what? She officially released her SBS shipment to go. It's out the door. Sayonara.
All right. Andy Hayes here. That's
Andy,
good.
how you doing, buddy?
Happy Monday, my friends, he says.
Yep.
From Saltillo, Mississippi. Viltraz. I never could say that name
You
right.
can't say anything.
What are the lyrics to this song? Well, that's for you to know and me to find out. Get it? Jeff Little says Happy Monday.
Yep.
Steve Mooney's here
Monday.
from Pacific, Missouri. That's exciting.
How many people are excited and want to know what's
Viltros,
going
I'm going to
on with
interrupt
Martin?
you. Why do I bother watching this? Dang well know I can't afford these new models.
Well, that's true.
That's not true.
It is.
It's not true at all.
They made
That's
these
not-
so expensive that nobody will be
you're
able
gonna be
to
amazed.
to buy them.
Jennifer Moat says Hot NAMM. Hey, that's our new hashtag this
Hot
Tad.
NAMM!
That's our new hashtag this year.
I thought it was going to be God Nam it.
No, it was NAMM it last year. Now it's Hot NAMM.
It's just Nam it last. I was going to add. Never mind.
No, don't bring the Lord into this. Elvis TCB.
Taking care of business.
This is literally Elvis because it's the picture is Mr. Elvis and
God.
profile pictures
I
don't
knew
lie.
he wasn't dead. I knew it the whole time.
It's got to be real Elvis.
I think-
What's up, guys?
wasn't
Jason
his
Nye's here.
Was it his birthday? Yeah, his birthday. recently.
Jason Nye thinks, I think the redesigns are great, but we're not even there yet. Don't worry, Jason. We haven't even talked about it.
Did he just say but?
But is
That's
all
all?
he says. Great! Exclamation mark. But
Oh.
not two T's, just one. Ed Bensick's here. Richard Mextorf's here. Robert Chesser. Tyndall 198, and that's all the people we know. So,
Sounds good.
John,
All
what's
right.
going on? Tell us what's going on.
A lot of stuff's going on. Hey, do not bother to notice these Yamaha cases behind me that may or may not have something that we cannot tell you about until NAMM. Those are just there and you cannot know about them. That's all I got to say about that. Hinkley right now is just shaking her head. She's sitting in the other room shaking her head. Just like, there he goes again.
Jason Nye says he fat fingered the button, so apparently butt wasn't intentional.
Or he wants to say more.
Hinkley wants us to ask Elvis if he knows where Tupac is.
Tupac and Elvis have been making so much music
They're
together.
chilling.
That's crazy. All right, so we should start with the one I think that will show. Okay, so today is the release day of a few guitars. One of them I don't have here, and I will talk to you about it, which is the new Retro. I'm going to double check my specs on that one before we get to it. But that one's pretty cool.
Yes, Michael Jackson also.
Michael Jackson too. But they have redesigned the standard series. And here's the big deal. I'm going to tell you that I think every last one of these changes is welcome. I think they're all things that people will enjoy. I do not think that this is a game changer. And again, this is my opinion. And I'd love to hear what you guys think, especially after
You know
we
what
talk
my
about
opinion
them.
is?
What?
I think people are going to complain. They're going to say, I liked it the old way.
I think they
Because
will too.
that's the
Some
way
will.
people are.
I believe that. I genuinely do believe some people will. Is this weirding you guys out with this light above my head?
It's called lighting.
Okay, I just
Quit
didn't know if
pointing
they
to
could
the-
see it, Jay.
Don't worry about the
Usually when we
equipment,
do
just-
lives, everybody shuts that down. So anyway, I do believe that some people will find the new changes to be not good. There's a couple of them I'm iffy about.
You know my favorite part about this, John, is nobody's listening to you, and they're talking about all the people who are hiding in plain sight, like Jim Morrison and Michael Jackson and Tupac and Elvis, and you are apparently irrelevant to this conversation.
We are literally here just so they can get together and talk about things that are not what I'm talking about. I hear you.
All right.
Hey,
Sorry.
okay, so let's back up a minute. We're going to NAMM this week.
Hi, Clay.
We're leaving on Saturday. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm concerned for, one, the folks in California
always concerned.
who are just, oh my gosh, that is so awful. I don't know, a lot of you may or may not know that recently there were changes to insurance programs. So a lot of these people aren't even going to have insurance for their homes. It's just upended a whole section of the world, and it's pretty scary. So again, our thoughts are with the folks in California, especially that are affected by this fires. I'm curious to see what we're going to be able to do. As you know, we're bringing my dad out. He is a movie fanatic, and he wants to see. He keeps telling me that this is probably his last trip. He's already claiming that, Jay. Did you know that? This is my last opportunity.
I know.
I'm like, okay, whatever, Bill. But he does want to go see a bunch of stuff. He wants to do the Warner Brothers tour. I don't know if it's going to be possible. I don't know. He's got a couple museums he wants to go to and things. And anyway, That said, we're going to NAMM. There's new stuff. Martin, let's talk about that. They have changed their standard series. And I've got probably the one that gets the most changes. This is an HD 28. You know what? I'm going to grab not this one. This one's Sunburst, which is cool too. By the way, I have these. All of these are for sale right now. We do have them, and they are for sale. Right now, you can pick up the new 25s. They are not on our website yet.
Hello, Scott. And hello, Dr. Robert.
You have to
Can
come
you say
to
hi
this
to
room. I
Dr.
can't hear
Robert?
you.
Say hi to Dr. Robert Gifford.
Hey, Robert. How you doing, buddy?
Doctor.
Doctor.
To you.
Sorry. I really can't hear you very well in there.
But I'm just not energetic enough to get up, so.
All right. So
I'm tired.
Here is the new HD 28. And the biggest change is something you're not going to see, and that is golden era bracing. And if you're not familiar with golden era, raise your hand and let me know, and I'll kind of go through the big difference. But it is going to be more of the standard bracing. It has been the standard on the modern deluxes. It is
I raised my hand.
Style for, I'm not talking to you, Jay. I can't see you. I can't hear you.
You should talk about it.
Anyway, it has been a standard on the modern deluxe models. It is a standard on the Authentics.
It's the lighting, Vince.
The
it's
golden
not that
eras
pale.
before that. So anyway,
Tone that lighting down. Come on.
what lighting?
You're burning our eyeballs.
What are you talking about?
Trent, he's burning our eyes with the light. It's bright.
You're gonna have to come in here and fix it.
No, Trent can just stop the camera down.
Okay, stop the camera down, Trent. We can barely hear you. I swear, Jay. I don't know about him, guys. I really don't know.
If you just listen, it wouldn't be a problem.
You can't hear you when I'm talking.
You just heard that, didn't you? So I find it hard to believe you can't hear me when you can hear me. It's just selective hearing.
Have you guys ever dealt with somebody who
Hi,
stares
Rodney. I
at a
love you
wall
too.
the opposite direction of you and then tries to talk to you? My wife does that.
Valtraz, it is $100 in a standard D28.
Why am I even doing this, Jay?
Because he asked and I answered.
All right.
Good.
Golden era bracing, scallop bracing, super cool. That's one of the major things. One of the other ones that I think is probably one of the most welcome changes for myself. No more plastic bridge pins, everybody.
Yay.
Plastic bridge pins are gone. We will now have ebony on the mahogany series stuff. All the rosewood ones will now be bone. That is a big advantage in my opinion. I like that idea dramatically. I do have some questions about a couple of models that I'm going to get clarification on at the NAMM Show. One of the other changes is going to be the authentic or 1930s style heel. It is a little smaller here and kind of chunkier in this area, but kind of curves. It starts its curve a little bit later down the neck length. That's another, it's like, okay. You also are going to see a change in the volute. It's going to have the authentic or 1930s style vintage volute. That means a longer volute, and it also starts a little bit earlier and more rounded here, and then turns into the volute that goes a little bit longer. Again, I'd love to hear what you guys think of that. Is that a major game changer? Maybe. Also, for you traditional fanatics, the nut angle. They switched from this. The old angle, as you know, the nut kind of comes and leans back. The bottom of it leans back in the same angle as the peg head. They quit doing that years ago and made it be flat with the fretboard. That has now gone away. I don't know if that makes a big player difference. One of the player differences that they do have is the slimmer fretboard profile. It's going to be a thinner profile that kind of graduates, a little thinner up here, a little thinner here, but bigger part is when they build the neck, it actually is part of the neck comfort line, so you don't have that squared angle.
It's beveled.
It's more beveled, and then it's beveled on the top as well. So that is a little bit more comforting to get used to and feel in your hand. Other than that, same neck profile. What am I missing, Jay? I think I hit all the main...
I think you hit it all. You know what would be really comforting?
Huh?
You know what would be really comforting right now?
What?
To answer some questions.
Go for it.
All right. Let's get to this, guys. All right. Starting with... the first question was, what's it priced at? It's $100 more than a standard.
Every single standard is going to change. Now,
Not every standard. Well, yes, standard.
Every standard. Every 18 or everything. Oh, I got a new guitar to show you too, which is part of the new standard. In a second.
Focus.
Okay. But they're all going up by $100. So any
What does the standard
18
mean? Yeah.
It'll be a 15, I believe the 15 standard. No, it is not.
No, it's 18s.
It is 18 all the way through 45. So any D, triple O, OM, any of that stuff in the 18 series all the way up through the 45 series, all of those are what they call
Increased
standards.
$100.
All go up $100. Now, and that's one of the things I think is actually important because I don't know that this is going to make everybody, I mean, yes, I think every single change on there is a welcome change, but I think there's going to be a lot of you that are going to look at the old model and go, well, they're $100 less. Do I really need to spend the extra $100?
And we're going to do a video soon to tell you that, but right now,
I don't know.
we don't know yet. All right, flame mahogany table. So the new standards get closer to authentic custom shop spec.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yes.
Half.
Well, the only major difference, well, obviously there's a few differences.
The bracing is closer to the authentics.
The bracing's the same. It's not going to be VTS though, so you're not going to have the torrefied tops. You're not going to have the same finish. You're going to have a different neck profile. It has the same heel, but this is the modified low oval shape that is done on here. It's just going to have, here's what it is. It's a standard model, more vintage. More vintage.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Good point that I just made up in my head.
Good. I'm ready for it.
The bone or ebony bridge pin increase is a close to half of what that $100 is already, right?
Yeah.
It's $30 for at
30
least
bucks,
30 to
yeah.
40 bucks for.
Yeah, that's
for almost
bone
half
ones.
of it.
Yeah.
That's half of it.
Well, there you go. I'll go with you.
Dingleberry.
I had so missed you on these
Was the
lives.
brace shifting for sound or guitar solid structure for Golden Era? There's my question for you.
Say that again.
The brace shifting, was it for sound or structure in Golden Era?
So
That's
Golden
a long
Era-
history, but here's my question first. There's not a difference in the placement also of these two braces, correct?
No.
They're both forward shifted,
They're both
vintage
forward
style.
shifted. Correct.
Okay,
So-
go on now.
The forward shifted changed because of structure. This is a misnomer, and again, I want to counter this because this is actually very interesting. Somebody actually contacted us about a Eastman guitar that they purchased, and they're like, "I had to send it back. It had a belly in the top." And we're like, "Was it a X-brace guitar?" And she's like, "Yeah." "Was it forward shifted?" "Yeah." Well, that's why it has a belly. And if it doesn't have a belly to some degree, you should probably get rid of that guitar. If you have a guitar that is perfectly level
Whoa.
in the belly of the back end of the guitar, that means it's probably over braced. So take a guitar like a Dreadnought, bigger space here than they've had in an OM, triple O, double O, longer here. That forward shifted X brace is right here, center's right here. That means your X is coming, barely hitting the wings, and all of this area has structure, but not in keeping the overall shape of the top together. So that also leaves this area to be more free and able to move to sound better. Now, that also means it's going to belly up. There's a lot of tension right here, just right in this area right here, and it's going to kind of pull on that top. Now, especially if you haven't been humidifying, you haven't done the normal stuff, that's really going to pull up. So Martin sees that, and they go, you know what? It sounds great here, but we really need to strengthen this up. So they scooted it back just about 3/4 of an inch, I believe. And now you have an X brace that's going right across this area a lot closer and holding more strength in the center of that belly area right there. It does create less of a belly, but it also now affects the tone dramatically. Now, some people love that sound, and that is your 1940, I think 1939, sorry. I got to fix my numbers. Anything from that period on was the rear shifted braces. They're going to be more structural, but it did affect the tone. Now, the Golden Era bracing means a little bit, it seems to be like when they changed to this newer scallop bracing, it was a more simplified version where they were probably having most of the scalloping done and the shape of the braces done before they attached them to the guitar. Whereas the Golden Era bracing is definitely more scalloped in areas closer to the initial X. They're actually solid X's when they are solid pieces of wood when they get to the X. So you're going to see, instead of seeing 4 pieces that come together in the center, you're going to have 2 pieces to come together as a solid chunk of thick wood. So you have a more unified joint at the X connection. And that means they also start the scalloping right at just about that far away from that X. So you have more of the material shaved away, and it also gives them the opportunity to have it more fine-tuned, which, that's their term for it. I think what they're basically saying is it's not truly hand-voiced, but it's probably hand-selected so they can kind of pay attention to each guitar and know how much scalloping to do on each individual guitar, more so than they were doing on the other style scallop bracing. That was a long run, and I hope you followed me.
I'd like to point out one thing. Everybody's saying the $100 is worth the upgrade for the bone nut and saddle. That hasn't changed.
Bone nut and saddle is factory on all of the reimagined standard series.
That's been a while, right? 2 years, 3 years?
Since 16?
I don't know.
I think.
All right, Jack Sanders needs your expertise. If you're buying one, would you buy a 24 spec or a 25 and an HD 28?
I mean, if it all comes down to it, I'd probably buy the 24, but I don't know that I would be like, if I played a 24, there'd be nothing in me that says, boy, I really missed out.
You mean you'd buy the 25?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You
I would
said
probably buy the
24.
25. I apologize. If I was finding, though, a 24 that I played and it sounded great and felt great, I don't know. I mean, if it sounds great, I don't know that I would say, boy, I really missed out on what they're putting out. I think all of them is a welcome change. But if I saved $100, I'm iffy.
You know what we're gonna have to do?
You know what?
We're gonna have to wait until we do the video.
I'll give you a couple quick things that I like and don't like. Okay, I do like the Golden Era bracing. I am not as big a fan of the vintage volute. I will be honest with you. I thought the other one was more refined. To me, it looked better and maybe felt a little less chunky in this back section for myself. So that's a kind of a for me. I do like the change of the bridge pins, but again, does that change everything? I'm iffy about the fretboard thing. I think it's comfortable, but I also like the idea of having more fretboard material to wear through. And I guess that's probably also being from the vintage side, where every time you had to level the fretboard, you had to sand it down, and having more material to start with made more sense to me. But now that I think about it, it's a truss rod that probably won't need to be sanded down but once, maybe twice in its lifetime. Unlike, we're not using it to level, we're just using it to level the actual fretboard, get rid of the divots and wear and tear on it. All right.
You need to be sanded down once in your lifetime.
I do. So that's the HD28. I do have a D18. So what we got in here, I'll show you a couple guitars that are in the standard series before I show you the brand new one. We did get in this, and I believe this is a slightly different Sunburst. They now changed the names of some of these. This is now a 1935 Sunburst, which I think they called it that before, but it's definitely a different color. Same guitar, HD28, same features. This is a new 25 in a Sunburst. And I will tell you, by the way, we've already sold a couple of these. So if you are interested and you want a 25 model, I'd jump on them. But we haven't seen a 28 Sunburst in a while, HD28. So HD28 Sunburst, this is the new burst. I think it looks great. I think it's a little more brown. It still has it's a little less of that red tint that we had before. So that's cool. Now I also got in an 18, and this is going to probably answer another one of your questions, which I saw already on the forums. Everybody's kind of flipping out. So it has a new volute.
They're flipping out.
Does that mean that the 18s now have a volute? And let me answer you, no, they don't. D18s will not have a volute, and I'm betting the 35s will not either. That's not the guitar I wanted. That's another one I want to show off in a minute.
While you're doing that, let's answer a couple more questions. Jamie wants to know what's the difference between Golden Era, Vintage Series, and Authentic.
A lot.
A lot. All right, moving on.
Authentics truly are built exactly like a 1936 or 37
They're completely hand
D1828.
voiced. They have
the golden era bracing, but they're Adirondack spruce braced. They are
hide glue.
these are Sitka hide glue. They have a different neck profile. They have a different finish makeup. That's a thinner, more matted looking, and it's true to the original nitrocellulose. Less glossy, less thick. It's a thinner finish. It truly is exactly like a 1937 guitar in every way that they could do. No truss rod, no adjustable truss rod, only has the T-bar in it. So there's some pretty big differences there.
What about the mythical liquid metal pins, John?
What about them?
I don't know.
I think they're great. I have not got to test them to go exactly what I think of them, but all right, here's a rare one, and I don't think this is going to last but a day or two. Because one, we haven't seen one of these even in the 24 spec. This is the first one we've got in. Ambertone D18. They're calling this a 1933 Ambertone now instead of just Ambertone. And correct me if that is not different than before, but I think it is. Same specs, same fretboard. Now we have ebony bridge pins on this instead of the bone, which are on the D28s and all the rosewood guitars. And again, for spec use, no, this does not have a volute. Same heel shape. Now here's one that everybody's kind of going nuts about. One of the spec changes that is listed officially is it no longer says genuine mahogany.
Hey, you know what? That was the next question I was going to ask you. Somebody asked Lorewind. What are your thoughts on this, John?
Well, I'll be honest with you. They've been saying this stuff on quite a few guitars. It is going to get to the point when they're not able to use Honduran mahogany anymore because they're running out of it. But they're using close relatives. And mahogany is such a deal. Genuine mahogany. What does that mean? African mahogany is genuine mahogany. Sort of. People just think of it differently. Sapele is not. They're quite the same. So I think what they're going to be moving towards is more some of the African mahoganies and some of the variants that aren't necessarily. Like Boucher uses Brazilian mahogany. I don't know if there's Cuban mahogany. I doubt they're going to switch to Cuban. It's going to be what they have accessible. But I have noticed that even the necks have quit saying genuine mahogany on a lot of the models for a long time, yet it looks to be exactly the same mahogany as before. I think it's not going to be a big difference, and most of us aren't going to notice or tell the difference. That's what I think.
Nut widths stay the same on the new series.
1 3/4.
Yep.
Everything about this guitar is exactly the same as what I showed you in the HD28.
Authentics 11/16?
No, the Authentics are 1 3/4.
Are they? Okay.
Yes, sir. The only 11/16 is from 1940 on.
You're not going to play it, John?
I can play it. I didn't play the HD28 either.
Why not?
I should have, because it's a great sounding guitar. That burst one is a monster. I really liked it. I like both of them actually a lot. We did tone samples. We will have some of those available, because I doubt the video of review will be out before NAMM, but we will have them on our lives.
Hey, doubt no longer.
Huh?
It's a doubt no longer. The D18 video is coming out tomorrow.
This one is?
Yeah, well, not that comparison, but the one we filmed. Talking about the new updated specs and the D18 line.
That's right, we did do something with it in there. Did we end up doing tone samples of this to put on there?
No,
No.
it's just the old spec.
Ends up, the new version does the J-Run pretty well. The biggest thing I think you're going to see out of the new Golden, for me personally, the big variance from 24 to 25 is going to be the Golden Era bracing change. And I think it will make a more consistent sounding guitar. That's what my personal belief is going to be, and it's what I've seen so far out of the batch that we have got in here. So we do have the Ambertone. I do have both of those HD28s. If you guys would like me to play them, I would be more than willing and happy to do so. So let's move on to the new 17s. This is cool. 17 has come back and it's smart. And a lot of you are going to be, if you're a big Martin fan, you're going to be like, well, what about the 15s? 15s are different. The 17 is now going to be part of the standard series. It is now officially a standard series. So what makes that cool? That means a dovetail joint, same neck style, a dovetail joint on an all mahogany body. And they're coming out with, and I've got both of them right here, a dreadnought and a triple O. So you have triple O in all mahogany.
Are you allowed to show this off right now?
Huh?
Are you allowed to show this off right now?
I'm pretty sure. 17s. The only one I wasn't allowed. Double check me, boy. I may have to put this away fast. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Nobody tell anybody.
Don't say anything. I have it up on my screen. Guys, Jason's making me doubt myself. I'm pretty sure. Uh-oh.
I gotta bring up the email.
I have it here.
Everybody hang on.
It says right here.
Ignore what we just talked about.
No, it's good. January 13th, 2025. We're good. I'm looking at embargo date.
That's right. I saw another video online. Don't worry.
I thought I was right. I knew I was. All right, so what makes this cool? All mahogany construction, again. Golden era bracing. So again, bringing back that same exact bracing. This is basically a standard guitar now. The nicer quality pick guard. And this thing sounds fantastic. Same profile of fretboard. There's a great. Jay, what's the price on this? Do you have it up? I do. Never mind. I got it right here. You got it. $22.99. So it is going to bring up that price quite a bit from the 15s, but it's also a lot more guitar than the 15 was. I'm going to use this as my brace. I played this one earlier. The Dreadnought is awesome. I'm going to go out and say it right now. This is probably, to me, the best all mahogany Dread I have ever played.
Don't.
I'm going to say it.
You said it.
It has the warmth and compression, but it's not dull. And I think that's what makes this really cool. So all those same features that are put into the 18 series are done in an all mahogany format.
Hey, that's a good question.
Bone. This is interesting. I like the look of this. They did a plain bone bridge pins on the 17.
No dots.
I love that. I
nice.
think that's awesome.
Do you think this signals that the 15s will move to Mexico?
I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction. I'm pretty sure I'm right because I've talked to some people. I think the 15 series is going to move away from Nazareth, and we will move to the Sapele back in sides with a mahogany top and stay with the 15Es. I think it already was
They want you to play the
introduced
triple O, John.
last year. I think it's going to be there. What'd you say?
They want you to play the triple O.
I'm going to get the triple O. That's what I was going to do.
Well, quit wasting time.
I knew people would want that because that's probably the more popular all mahogany body. It would be a triple O, and I think they did a great job on this.
How is that handled, John? The D28 standard bracing versus HD28 bracing.
Okay, this is what I want clarification on because they don't tell us yet, and I'll have to find out because I don't have a standard new 28. I'm dying to find out if they scalloped. Since they say it now has golden era braces, I assume that means that it will be scalloped. And I think it's a good change. Some people are going to be very, very mad about it because there is a sound to a non-scalloped guitar. And those who just love the D28. So essentially, if this is the case, which I suspect is 100% true, this now means that the only difference between an HD28 and a D28 is going to be the aesthetics of it. If you want the herringbone trim and you want the checkerboard back strap, zipper or zigzag.
Can I save you the time of asking and just read? It is scalloped.
Okay, so it does actually say scalloped?
is GE scalloped. Interesting. I'm looking at my chart here, John. Interesting enough, the D35 is not.
Is not? So that's no way.
Okay, now
Because a D35
Hang on.
always was scalloped. It's their own. It's not golden era braced. Correct?
yes, it's GE. GE, and also
Boy,
what
this
is
is
an
gonna be
HD 1228? Oh, that's that. Okay,
That's a 12 string,
okay,
28.
yeah, it is non-scalloped.
That makes sense because they need the strength to make sure it doesn't explode.
I'm looking through the list. The only two so far.
D35, non-scalloped.
Yep,
Very interesting. I'm going to check in on what
all
that means.
D35s.
I can't wait. HD35 will be scalloped, though.
Hang on,
That's what made it special.
I'm not seeing an HD 35.
There's also an argument as to, I've seen online, is the D35 going to have a volute on the back of it?
yes,
It
the
traditionally
HD
does
35
not.
is scalloped.
You said the HD35 is scalloped?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured it would be. I'm wondering if they are going to take away or keep the volute away from the 35 series. That's another big curiosity.
I don't think I have that.
I would assume so, since they left the 18
I don't
alone.
have that.
I know. This is why I'm going to hang out with Fred and Joey and all those guys, and we're going to talk about it.
But that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah,
Right?
darn-
Those are two big changes.
I find it to be very interesting. So the D28 is truly going to be cosmetically different. So in case you're not familiar, an HD28 does, you can't see it here, but it's a zigzag back strip on the back of it, where there's a zippered one that is on a D28. It'll have the 5-ply black, white, black, white, binding around the outside of it. That will make a standard D28, where an HD28 will have the wood herringbone trim all the way around. So it's truly going to be a cosmetic difference. How much of a difference is there in price? Isn't it like $400 or $500
What are we talking about?
between a D28 and an HD28?
Hold on. $32.99 and
$39.99,
sure,
I think. No, $35.99.
$4.99,
Four. So $300,
$200.
$200 for the herringbone.
Yeah.
Why does it always go to an A minor shape when I do that
Hey,
stuff?
Texas here.
Also, really, really good. For that. Same exact components, by the way, on the triple O size. You'll notice that neck heel shape is going to be more of that. Again, big difference between the 15 and the 17. A true dovetail joint, golden era bracing. This is really, really nice. I genuinely am impressed with these guitars. I am not an all mahogany guitar person. I never have been. But I love that dread. I really do, wherever I put it, one of these spots. So I think it's great.
John,
Yes, ma'am.
here's a good question,
Go.
and I mean, you can answer it. It's not technically 24s versus 25s. It's 16s versus 25s, right?
It depends. The D28 was later, I think.
Oh, anyway.
Anyway,
Can you tell the
18s.
difference from a website easily? I don't think you could.
you can if you look at the model. Well, first of all, price is going to tell you. $100 difference.
Yeah.
Number two, there is an actual SKU, and most companies are actually using it, and it starts with a 25. Like
Why 25?
It says Y25, blah, 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 HD28, blah, blah.
I believe it's 10 Y25.
I think you are correct on that.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. And that's how you know what
It
the
should
other
be
ones are.
Y16 for
An
the
18 or a 16. Or anytime Martin does a major change, they leave the year in the actual product SKU so that you know what it is and when that particular version was made. The other option, and that's not really going to work for you because I doubt they've published the 24 serial number release yet. So the last one built out of there. I doubt they published that. I'm going to tell you one thing. If a dealer is smart, they're putting it all over. We're going to be doing that on our listings. It will say new for 2025 because why wouldn't you? If you're wanting people to know what it is you're releasing, my assumption is if you see it $100 less, it will be a 24 model. If they have, and there's only a few of these out there right now, they just started shipping these a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. I've had, I guess 2 weeks. We've had ours for 3 weeks now. That's how that's going to be. You know, there's only a few of them out there. They're slowly working their way through. Only the dealers that sell a lot of guitars are probably going to have year 25s. But they were still shipping, and there are still, by the way, all the year 16s and 18s are still available from Martin. So they will be selling those at discounted prices for some of the dealers. They're trying to empty their warehouses. They're not allowed to sell them for any less, by the way. But that said, they're still MAP priced, and they will hold their same value, $100 less. If you see it for $100 less, it's an older model.
There you go. Tex says, hello, Jason. How was your snow day? We should tell him that, John.
What?
We spent our snow day locked in a house together.
And there was no physical violence.
Yeah.
That's totally true.
We had our leadership retreat this last weekend, so we missed the snow. We watched it through via the window. Me, John, Jeremy, Corey, and Austin made plans. Isn't that great?
There are some other cool guitars coming out. Let me see when this one releases so whether I can tell you about it or not.
Alex wants to know how you compare that triple O to the small mahogany Atkin, the Dust Bowl.
They're different. They're much more open, the Atkin.
Tex says they got 5 foot 2 inches of snow in Lewiston, Montana. That's 5 foot too much.
For some reason, that one won't open for me. Jay, can you
What?
look up the fancy release and see when that release date is while I look up this other retro?
Fancy release.
The fancy one. The one at the bottom of the page. And see what the embargo date is on that. Because I do not remember.
You're confusing me now.
It's one of those fancy with lots of decoration guitars.
Okay.
But standard. You see what I'm doing there, Jay? All right, one that is getting released today that they did not send us yet, which I'm surprised because they really want us to have this. I was told this is to compete with one of our major brands that we sell a lot of. They specifically are building this guitar to help compete with that. They're releasing a new version called the DE or Triple OE Retro Plus Mahogany. That is getting released. It's officially in their Road series. A pretty neat little guitar. I'll show you pictures of it here. It's Dreadnought, like I said, or in a Triple O variation. Here's what makes this unique. This guitar is going to be standard scallop braced. So it's X-braced, scallop braced. But here's where it gets interesting. It's going to be a VTS top. So torrefication will happen, or torrefaction. It depends on where you're, how fancy you are. It says it will be mahogany back and sides, select hardwood neck. So they're actually just saying mahogany, not genuine. So it's going to be the same mahogany on the 18s. Basically, this is going to be a Mexico-made, Navajo-made D18, coming with a torrefied top, X-brace, scalloped X-braces on this. It will be full gloss with an aging toner. So it should be, I'm assuming they're nitrocellulose. Do you have that spec to be able to see if it's actual nitrocellulose?
I can look it up. This is all you can talk about.
I cannot talk about the other
No,
one?
that's on the 20th. That is on the Monday of NAMM.
Okay.
A week from today, guys.
All right.
Hold on.
That was another one that I wanted to make sure. But this one is available. I'll show it to you in pictures if you can see on my here tablet. It basically is going to be a vintage style D18. Now, pricing on this one is going to be $18.99. So again, this will be the most affordable D18 offering in a full solid wood high-end build. Just the big difference here is they're going to show off, and I think this is great, to show off what Navajoa is capable of. I think a lot of people automatically dismiss guitars made in Navajoa, or in Eastman's case, China, or in Taylor's case, Mexico, the Japanese built ones, as not being as good a quality, but guess what? They can build some pretty monstrous instruments and do it well. So I'm real curious to see this guitar. It should sound great.
What's the model on that?
It is the DE Retro Plus.
Okay. And you're looking for, they don't give us specs on the...
That's what I was wondering if they would or not.
It is a mortise and tenon.
Yes, it'll be a mortise and tenon, not a dovetail joint.
Just gives me gloss.
It will be a gig bag, one of their super nice gig bags, not a hard shell case. Does have electronics, so you'll have your built-in tuner. It'll be the same Road Series pickups. It'll actually be the same as it is in the, well, never mind. I played another guitar that's getting released here shortly that has the same pickup setup in it. Basically, it's that upgraded one that's in the Road Series and a lot of the other electronic models from Martin. So that one's pretty interesting. I'm really curious to see how that one turns out. Yeah, that's it. So there are some more surprises coming. Don't get me wrong. Some really, really cool ones that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Couple questions here, Johnny boy.
While we're there.
You ready for them?
I'm ready.
Tex. He says this is a tough question. We'll see. Does the Bedell 1940 sound as good or better than the Martin D18 2025?
Tex, come on.
Why are you putting us in that spot?
You're trying to get
Seriously.
me in trouble. If Martin's watching right now, which there's a good chance they are, if they saw that listing that says it's there, I think they're just different. You know my opinion. I have yet to play a Mahogany Dreadnought brand new that I have thought so well of as the new 1940.
Let's be honest. Even Martin knows there are some better guitars in their standard series. They're just good guitars.
There's a lot more money too.
Yeah, exactly.
But
let's be realistic.
I personally, I think you said it best, Tex, when you sent that email. I haven't had a brand new guitar that I have played so much after it came in that I've just literally just gone in my little office and pulled out and played as that guitar. There's something really, really cool in there. Again, I do not want anybody to misunderstand and say, gosh, that sounds exactly like my vintage Martin guitar. It doesn't. Now, does it encapsulate a lot of it? Yes. But
It's a long
not the
step
same.
toward what that guitar sounded like new, right?
Yep.
Vince is asking, is that an upgrade from the standard D18 since a VTS? What's a VTS? I'm confused.
Well, the Retro Plus, sort of.
Is it VTS?
Yeah, that's what makes it special.
Boy, I was ignoring you.
Yeah, it is a VTS top, a Sitka spruce top. So, yes, in theory, it could be as good or better. I'll be honest with you, I've had
you're backtracking on a lot of things, including nuts are all Corian or,
Yes.
or plastic. The dovetail nut joint isn't there.
Correct.
There's a lot of back and forths.
This is not designed to compete with the D18. I did argue with them, and I'm not going to do this right now. I'll talk about that later. It's designed to be a much more affordable, option that will compete in the D18 space for those of you who don't have the money. I think it's really going to compete. It's going to give us a major run for the money of the D18 Satins. And I'm going to tell you why that is. The finish change, whether you love the sound of a satin finish or don't, that's what's going to determine how close those two guitars are. You're going to obviously give up a lot of things to go to the retro, but you're going to gain a few things, like a VTS top. You're going to gain a gloss finish and a price point. So I think it's going to be competitive with the D18 Satins. I don't necessarily think it's really designed. I know it's not designed to, but I don't think it's really going to compete heavily against the standard D18.
Rolo asking, are we going to discount the D28 2024s?
No, we're not allowed to. Not only that, but you're not allowed to. That's
No.
they deliberately changed the prices. You have the ones that are here. You'll get those for the
$100 less. It's
for
not
$100 less. They're still real models. They still are selling them. They are still moving them out of the factory. So,
Alex A wants to know what it's designed to compete with. It's designed to compete with import guitars that everybody loves.
that we all love here
That
at the
everybody
Acoustic
loves.
Shop. And
Everybody
other
loves a
places.
good import guitar for a good price.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
No more needed to be said.
I love how we've hit the status now where everybody's trying to get us in trouble on a live. By the way, you guys know I'm not scared to get in trouble either, so there's that. But
Oh, now you're asking for it.
I've been in trouble many and many times.
All right. Is there
Any
anything
other
else to
major
talk
questions,
about?
Jay?
We got not much else.
Okay, so guys, this week I just got off the phone with Eastman. Eastman shipment is going to go out the door tomorrow. It should be here by the end of the week. We probably won't see it. The guys will probably open it up for you on Monday. Jason, I got some news for you. They are going to be, when we go film on Monday of next week at Pomona, they're going to give us specific serial numbers to show that we will have back so that those people can actually pick the specific serial numbers
Cool.
that we're going to be building content for. So they're going to have multiples of there. We'll be able to take all of the stuff that we play will be actual guitars that will make their way back to the Acoustic Shop and you can reserve. So that's kind of cool.
Ooh.
I found that to be very interesting. I talked to Dan just a little bit ago on that. There's some new product coming there. A couple of ones, like I said, one of them that we worked with Eastman to build and release, and that's pretty exciting. But the rest of the shipment, E40 double O's Madagascar sides and back have been shipped, and they will be on their way. That's super cool. I do not have a price for them yet. My guess is $29.99. If not $31.99. I don't know for sure, but that's my guess.
It was asked again, the same question as before, a little bit. Slightly different. Rollo's asking, the new D28 will be essentially the same as a D28 minus herringbone.
Correct.
It appears to be so.
Yeah, don't have one, so I will double check, but it seems to be, it'll now be, the reason why you get a standard D18 is the look of the standard D28 versus an HD28. They both will sound theoretically alike.
Tech says, great, you can buy a NAMM guitar from TAS. Yes, you can, and I wish you would. Jamie says, when's the next batch of TAS guitars coming in?
Hopefully the end of this week.
Yep.
I have MD815s on their way. I have some of the brand new products.
He said the TAS guitars, though. What?
Oh, those?
Where are
Sorry,
they coming?
I
We got what? How
apologize.
many more left? 6?
There are a bunch of them sitting at the factory there. I got to find out where those are at because they said they were going to release them. Maybe I'll get those while I'm there on Monday. We will know for sure. So a week from here, I will have news for you guys on those. Maybe I will hand select. There we go.
Maybe. And now everybody wants you to play the HD28. So play that
Standard
and then we'll get out
or
of here.
Sunburst?
HD28. I don't know. Play one of them.
I think this was the HD28.
I
It's
think
great.
Sunburst, right?
I have both.
Richard Harding, I don't think we have anything new with left-handed models coming in, correct? Do you have any new ones, John?
I have a call in for an HD28 lefty.
What about the Eastman order? Did you order anything new?
I might have some lefties on there. I don't remember.
Vince says Sunburst.
Says the Sunburst?
Yeah, he
Sunburst
wants to play
sounds great. I
Sunburst.
just put it back. I love this guitar. Somebody needs to grab this one because this one sounds super good. And it looks great too.
Yeah, I like it.
I like the new Burst. That, by the way, that's the zigzag back strip that I was talking about before. That is what it looks like. Indian rosewood back and sides, the new heel shape, bigger, more pronounced, longer volute. This is the new HD 28 for 2025. Nice, nice, nice. Likey. I like the new pick guards too. I think they look great. Martin, good job at not putting a really crummy looking pick guard on your guitar. It's one of my big pet peeves, as you all know. The pepperoni guard has gone away. Hot dog.
Yay!
The dot matrix printed pepperoni guard.
Well, let's get out of here before we say something that gets us in trouble.
Like I said, I'm not afraid to do it. I'll do it every day. There are more coming. The retros should be here, I bet, soon. We have more 25 models that will be on their way. But
And we'd like to say that we love you, our guitar building overlords.
yeah,
Oh, masterful guitar builders who provide us with the wonderful inventory.
that we are
no
so
matter who
gracious
the
to
name,
approve.
no
And
matter who the name shall be and or manufacturing process, we love you and goodbye.
bye, guys. It's been fun.